Your mom's dead, I'm family now, she said, taking everything. 15 years later, she sobbed in my office. Only your insurance company can save me. I reviewed her claim and said, pre-existing condition. Fraud. Claim denied. I stamped the red rejection across her file with the same cold finality she'd shown when stealing my mother's life insurance 15 years ago. The woman who'd left me orphaned and penniless at 13 now sat across from my mahogany desk, her designer clothes unable to hide the fear in her eyes. Naomi, please, Aunt Patricia begged, her voice nothing like the commanding tone that had once told me I should be grateful she didn't put me in foster care. It's cancer. Stage 3. The surgery could save my life. Interesting, I said, flipping through her medical history. Says here you've been hiding symptoms for 2 years. Failed to disclose them when you applied for our premium plan 6 months ago. That's insurance fraud, Aunt Patricia. A felony, actually. My assistant knocked. Ms. Carver? Your 3 o'clock is here. 5 more minutes, Janine. I leaned back in my executive chair, studying the woman who'd destroyed my childhood. Do you know why I started Sentinel Insurance? She shook her head, tears ruining her makeup. Because when I was 13, I learned exactly how cruel insurance companies could be to the vulnerable, and how easily family could become predators when money was involved. 15 years ago, I was 13 and preparing for my 8th grade graduation when my world ended with a phone call. Car accident. Mom gone instantly. No pain, they said, as if that made it better. The funeral was a blur of casseroles and condolences. I sat in the front row, numb, watching them lower the only person who'd ever truly loved me into the ground. Aunt Patricia, Mom's older sister, held my hand and whispered, "Don't worry, baby. I'll take care of you." I believed her. The life insurance agent came a week later. Mom had been nothing if not practical. A single mother who'd worked 2 jobs to keep us afloat, she'd invested in a $1 million policy to ensure I'd be okay if anything happened. As the sole beneficiary, the agent explained, Naomi will receive monthly payments until she's 18, then a lump sum for college. Actually, Aunt Patricia had interrupted, producing documents. I'm her legal guardian now. The payments should come to me. Of course, for her care, the agent nodded. Exactly. For her care. The first month, she bought me new clothes for school. Can't have my niece looking shabby, she'd said. I was grateful, still drowning in grief. The second month, the new clothes stopped. Economy's tough, she explained. We need to be smart with the money. By the 3rd month, I was sleeping on a pull-out couch in her home office while her daughter Brittany kept her designer bedroom. Temporary, Patricia promised. Just until we figure things out. Where's Mom's furniture? I'd asked, noticing none of our things had made it to her house. Storage is expensive, sweetie. I sold it. For your college fund. But I never saw that money. Or any money. Can I have some for school supplies? I'd asked before 9th grade started. The insurance money is for necessities, she'd said, loading shopping bags into her new BMW. Public school provides everything you need. They don't, though. I need a graphing calculator for algebra. Then get a job. 14 is old enough to work. Builds character. I watched her buy Brittany a $1,000 prom dress while I worked at McDonald's to afford a $20 calculator. Watched her renovate her kitchen with what she called wise investments while I ate cereal for dinner. Watched my college fund disappear into her temporary borrowing for various emergencies that always seemed to benefit everyone but me. I want to see the statements, I demanded at 16. The insurance statements. It's my money. How dare you? Patricia had raged. After everything I've done? Taking you in? Raising you? You ungrateful little. You're stealing from me. I'm investing in this family. When Brittany succeeds, we all succeed. A rising tide lifts all boats. What about my boat? You're smart. You'll get scholarships. But scholarships required application fees I couldn't afford. SAT prep I couldn't access. Extracurriculars I couldn't join because I was working 3 jobs to buy my own food. When I turned 18, I went to the insurance company directly. I should receive a lump sum now. For college. I'm sorry, the agent said, looking uncomfortable. The beneficiary requested full dispersal when your mother died. Your guardian signed for it as your representative. Full dispersal? That was supposed to last until college. Your aunt said there were extensive medical bills, funeral costs, immediate needs. She took it all? She was your legal guardian. She had the right to manage the funds for your care. $1 million. My mother had worked herself to death to ensure I'd have a future, and Patricia had stolen every penny. I'll sue, I'd threatened when I confronted her. With what money? She'd laughed. What lawyer? What proof? I have receipts for every dollar spent on this household while you lived here. Food, utilities, the roof over your head. No court will side with an ungrateful teenager over a guardian who sacrificed to raise her sister's child. She was right. I had nothing. No money for lawyers. No proof of what she'd spent versus what was meant for me. Just rage and a couch to pack up. Where will you go? Brittany had asked, watching me stuff my life into garbage bags. Anywhere but here. Mom says you're being dramatic. That she saved you from foster care. Your mom saved herself to $1 million that wasn't hers. I'd left that night with $200 from my McDonald's job and a full scholarship to a state school I'd managed to secure despite everything. Not Ivy League like I'd dreamed, but education nonetheless. College was brutal without support. I studied insurance law, business, ethics. Everything Patricia had violated. Learned how the system protected the powerful and failed the vulnerable. Saw how many kids like me got screwed by the people meant to protect them. You're obsessed, my roommate had said, watching me read insurance fraud cases at 3 a.m. I'm motivated. By what? By the knowledge that somewhere out there, another 13-year-old is about to lose everything to someone who claims to love them. I graduated summa cum laude and went straight into insurance investigation. Spent 5 years learning every loophole, every scam, every way people manipulated the system. Then I started my own company, Sentinel Insurance. Ethical coverage that actually protected the vulnerable. We grew fast. Turns out, people appreciated an insurance company run by someone who understood loss, who'd been screwed by the system, who built safeguards against the very fraud that had destroyed my childhood. Within 10 years, Sentinel was worth hundreds of millions. We specialized in policies that protected minors' inheritances, that required court oversight for guardian withdrawals, that investigated suspicious claims with forensic precision. Which is how Patricia ended up in my office, holding a denial letter with my signature. You can't do this, she said now, mascara streaming. I'm your aunt, your mother's sister. My mother died believing you'd protect me. Instead, you stole my future and called it gratitude. I raised you. You stored me. Like unwanted furniture. While spending my inheritance on your kitchen remodel and Brittany's prom dresses. That money was for household expenses. I have the receipts, I interrupted, pulling out a file I'd compiled over the years. BMW lease signed 2 months after Mom died. Kitchen renovation. Brittany's private school tuition. Your jewelry purchases. Amazing how many household expenses benefited everyone, but the orphan on the couch. You don't understand the pressure I was under. Suddenly having another mouth to feed. A mouth that came with $1 million check. It wasn't that much after taxes and fees. It was $743,000 after everything. I know because I pulled the records. That's $137,000 per year until I turned 18. You spent less than $10,000 on me total, and that's being generous. She stared at the numbers I'd calculated obsessively for 15 years. But forget the money, I continued. Let's talk about this claim. You want Sentinel to cover a surgery for cancer you've been hiding since before you bought the policy. You lied on your application. That's fraud. I was scared. Of being denied coverage? Imagine being denied your entire inheritance. This is revenge, she accused. This is justice. An irony. The woman who taught me how insurance fraud works now wants me to commit it for her benefit. I'll die without this surgery. And I almost died on the streets at 18 with nothing but the clothes on my back. Guess we both learned that family doesn't mean much when money's involved. Naomi, please. What would your mother say? That stopped me cold. My mother? My mother would say, Patricia, how could you? She would say, I worked doubles and triples to secure my baby's future, and you stole it. She would say, I trusted you with my most precious thing, and you sold her out for a BMW. I'm sorry, Patricia sobbed. No, you're dying. There's a difference. I stood, walking to my window overlooking the city. You know what the cruelest part was? It wasn't the money. It was watching you love Brittany while tolerating me. Buying her everything while telling me to be grateful for scraps. Using my inheritance to give her opportunities while telling me to work harder. Brittany was my daughter, and I was your niece, your dead sister's child. That should have meant something. It did. I kept you out of foster care. You kept me as a source of income. The second I turned 18 and the checks would have come to me, you kicked me out. Silence confirmed what we both knew was true. Here's what's going to happen, I said, returning to my desk. Your claim is denied. You can appeal, but my forensic team will testify about your fraud. You might even face charges. But the surgery? Sell your house. The one my mother's insurance money renovated. Sell your jewelry. The pieces you bought while I worked at McDonald's. Sell everything you bought with stolen money, and maybe you'll have enough. That could take months. I need treatment now. Then you better hurry. Time's not on your side. Much like it wasn't on mine when I needed that college money. She stood on shaking legs. You've become cruel. I've become successful. Despite you. Maybe even because of you. Watching you steal from an orphan taught me exactly who not to become. What about forgiveness? Forgiveness requires repentance. You're only here because you need something. If you were healthy, would you have ever acknowledged what you did? Her silence was answer enough. Brittany, I asked suddenly, how's she doing with all that investment in her future? Patricia's face crumbled. Divorced. Third time. Lives in my basement. Ah, so all those opportunities you stole from me to give to her worked out well. Don't mock my daughter. The way you mocked my dreams. The way you told me I should be grateful while spending my money on her. I pressed my intercom. Janine, please escort Mrs. Williams out. Her appointment is over. Wait, Patricia said desperately. What if I pay it back? The money? With what? And why now? Because you're dying? That's not repentance, that's desperation. Then what do you want? I wanted a chance. An education without working 3 jobs. A bed that wasn't a couch. A guardian who saw me as family, not a paycheck. But we can't always get what we want. You taught me that. Security arrived to escort her out. At the door, she turned. Your mother would be ashamed. My mother would be proud. I built an empire that protects orphans from ants like you. I made sure no other 13-year-old loses their future to family greed. Her death meant something because I made it mean something. By denying me health care? By denying your fraud. There's a difference. One you should understand, you wrote the handbook on it. She left, broken and defeated, facing bankruptcy and worse. I returned to my desk, to the empire built on ensuring no child would suffer what I had. That night, I visited Mom's grave, something I did every month. She came to me today, I told the headstone. Wanted me to save her. The woman who stole everything you left me. Wind rustled through the cemetery trees. I said no. Not out of cruelty, but because some lessons need to be complete. She taught me that family meant nothing when money was involved. Now she's learning what it feels like to be on the other side of that equation. I placed fresh flowers, expensive ones I could now afford, on her grave. I made it, Mom. Despite her. Your sacrifice wasn't wasted, just delayed. And every policy I write, every claim I investigate, every orphan I protect, it's all for you. For the future you tried to give me that she tried to steal. The next morning's news reported that Patricia Williams was seeking treatment at a public hospital, her assets liquidated to cover costs. The same public hospital where I'd gone for strep throat at 14, because she wouldn't pay for a real doctor with my money. Karma, I reflected, had excellent timing. My company phone rang. Another case. Another child whose inheritance was being threatened by a greedy guardian. Another chance to be the protection I'd needed and never had. Sentinel Insurance, Naomi Carver speaking. Yes, we specialize in protecting minors' assets. Let me help you. Because that's what you do when family fails you. You become the family others need. You build the safety net you never had. You turn your pain into purpose and your loss into legacy. Patricia had said I'd become cruel. She was wrong. I'd become everything she'd tried to prevent. Successful, powerful, and absolutely committed to justice. The woman who'd stolen my mother's insurance money now faced death without insurance, while I ran a company that prevented such theft. She'd taken everything and called it love. I'd denied her claim and called it justice. And somewhere, my mother was finally at peace, knowing her daughter had not only survived but ensured others would too. That was worth more than all the money Patricia stole. That was worth everything.